Hello, I'm Bud McCord. I'm here in Brazil, South America. Welcome to our discussion about answers that satisfy. We need answers to questions about why we're here, what is our place in this world, and without these answers that come from God, we cannot rest in our inner life. And when you come across an answer that deeply satisfies you and it matches with what Jesus has taught and commanded of us, it is a remarkable experience to have that sense that you've got yourself going in the right direction because you've got the right answers, and all of those answers come from Jesus Christ. We're talking about answers concerning the world in which we live and how we should live in this world and why God has left us in this world and what God expects of us as we live in this world. So the question for today is this: what is my responsibility in the world? What is my responsibility in the world? When you talk to believers about what their responsibilities are in the world, sometimes they'll say, well, I just need to stay away from the world because I'll become polluted by the world. Or they'll say something like this: well, I'm just going to study my Bible and I'm just going to do the things that I think are the best. And they don't really have a vision about why Jesus actually leaves us here and even sends us out into this world. So it's an incredibly important question to help especially new believers to come to grips with. But for me, it's good to go back and rehearse this from time to time. What is my responsibility in the world? Let me put the answer here that I wrote down years ago, and I'm still working on improving these answers. I'm in the world to deliver love that glorifies God. I am in the world to deliver love that glorifies God. Now, we could add a whole lot more to that, but I'm in the world to glorify God by the continuous delivery of God's love flowing to me and through me. Another way that you might look at this is I need to be a manifestation of continuous and competent divine love. Now notice that I said divine love, not my love. I need to make sure and understand when Jesus said, without me you can do nothing, that I can't produce or sustain divine love. But I can receive it, rejoice in it, and release it. Now, I want to give you a few examples that come straight from the words of Jesus so that you can hear that this is matching with what he is saying. And this is in the Sermon on the Mount, chapter 5, Matthew 5, verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. So first he says that we are to be like salt. Now, salt was good for preserving valuable food and preserving meat and to keep life preserved at the highest level that you wanted it preserved. But if the salt loses its quality of being that allows it to preserve and to give flavor, then it's good for nothing. Well, he's talking about us. He's saying, if you have been made with the flavor of God's love, and you have been given eternal life, which is preserved life, and you don't distribute that with others, then what good are you? What good am I if I am not giving people a taste of genuine love coming from God to them? What good am I if I am not preserving by my own behavior what is best for other people? And I don't keep that just for myself. I give that away freely. Then he goes on and says, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Again, it's kind of like this. He says, look, you have been given light. You have been given life. You have been given bread. You have been given everything in Jesus. And you're going to hide that? You're going to hide that? No, you're going to put it out in front of people in this world so that they can get a glimpse of a different way of life and a happier way of life and a godly way of life. And then they'll realize it's not you. And so then they turn their gaze away from you and they put it on God and say that you have glorified God. Now, there's another metaphor of this in, let me put it back here again, I'll find it. In Luke chapter 14, verse 25, listen to this moment in Jesus' ministry when he was telling his disciples how they could be disciples. He says this, "Now great multitudes went with him, with Jesus, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." Now this, we could spend a long time here, but just catch this picture. Jesus is saying to the people that are following him, and multitudes were following him, and he's saying to them, okay, you're following me, but you're going to have to follow me first, above your family, above your own opinions, and you're going to have to follow me carrying your cross. Now, what does that mean? He says to us, follow me, and in so doing, you have to choose me and where I'm going and what I'm doing and what I'm saying as being more important than anything that you have historically with your family or even what your own thoughts. So you have to let go of everything and keep your eyes focused on Jesus. But then he qualifies it by saying, and take up your cross and follow me. Well, we know that the cross of Jesus was the method by which the love of God was made manifest to the world, and he took the sins away from the world. And so we will have our cross, and it isn't the cross of going to the cross and dying for the sins of the world. Our cross means that we are going to deliver love to the people that God sends us to so that they can see the glory of God in the sacrifices that we make toward them, the treatment we have toward them, the love of God that flows through us toward them, and they will get a vision that there's a kind of love that is passing through us that is like the love of Jesus, and it will inspire them to go back to Jesus and see the glory of God when Christ was crucified. Now, there's one more that I wanted to share with you, and that's one you have heard me for many times. And Jesus is talking about a vineyard just before he is to be crucified, and he said that he is the vine, and in him is all that's the DNA of what's going to come out as grapes. He is the vine, and we are the branches, and the Father is the vine dresser. And he says these beautiful words. He says that the only way that we can be disciples is if we give fruit, much fruit, and even more fruit. And the only way we can do that is by receiving, rejoicing, and releasing. We've talked about that a lot. So in a nutshell, here's kind of what I get up in the morning and I realize, and I could use other illustrations as well. Today I need to be salt and light. I need to be in such communion with God that the everything about my life, the way I touch people, the way I look at people, the way that I interact with people, it would be a flavor that heightens life and makes things taste better. And it preserves good things. And then I also need to be light. And I need to understand that God will orchestrate my circumstances to put me in circumstances in front of people that may be very problematic. They may not believe anything about what I believe, but on the other hand, they're open. So if I am in front of that person, I will not hide the light. I'll let the light of God in my life speak for itself, but I will give them the light freely, without judgment, and I will just simply invite them to come in the light and then point them to Jesus Christ, who is the light of the world and the light that came from the Father. So I have a debt. I was given all the things that I have been given by grace. And so now I am blessed to bless. So what is my responsibility? I need to carry my cross. I need to give fruit and more fruit. I need to be salt and light. And I get the opportunity to bring attention to God's character, because the character of God is Christ in me, the hope of glory. And then they will glorify God, not me, not you, not us, but the Father. And we're here in the world to do just that. I hope you have an opportunity today to be salt and light. I hope you have an opportunity to bear much, much fruit. And I hope that you will carry your cross and deliver love to the people that need it. Have a great day.